我们即将见到的是奇琴伊察金字塔，
但是在玛雅人这儿啊，他们是15岁算成年。
They materializing the tree of life, the seva. They could travel through that tree to heavens and to the world, to the underworld. If you read the Maya mythology, you find magic dwarfs.
但是啊，也有人说，其实有的玛雅人啊，他们并没有完全消失。
图卢姆有小蜥蜴。大家早上好呀，欢迎来到体验派原理的频道。现在是坎昆时间早上5点50。哎呀，今天我们要去的是奇琴伊察金字塔，出发 ，Let's go！
日出好好看。米基星人侵略地球的计划失败，要哭了。据说今天的导游有些许的玛雅血统，他自己说的啊，这是他的村庄，没有围墙，没有警察，没有白人。蓝色的小方块后面是他的小学。村庄里没有政治竞选的宣传标语，因为玛雅人呢不是很在意这些世俗的东西，对他们来说不是那么重要。他们有自己的法则，也不希望因此而被社会评判。他们还有 Maria Secret 代替我们所熟知的 Victoria Secret， 生活在自己的小世界里。到了，看到了，越来越近了。大家看这两边的树长得特别好，你越往前走，树越少，遮挡越少，然后就有一种大幕徐徐拉开的电影感。我们即将见到的是奇琴伊察金字塔，本尊。
当你要按123的节奏去拍手的时候，就好像这个金字塔在说他自己的名字一样，库库看那个回声，好神奇。欢迎收看了解变装术。现在我们来到了奇琴伊察金字塔，它是个四四方方的形状，因为以前的玛雅人呢，以为地是平的，是一个方块形，然后由一个乌龟驮着，所以当时他们就想找这个世界的边界，然后呢，以此修了这个金字塔。四周呢各有91级台阶，然后加上最顶上那一层，一共是365级台阶，365天。在他们玛雅的日历里呢，一年是有18个月，每个月有20天。这怎么计数呢？就是手指头跟脚趾头加起来一共是20个，所以每个月是20天。
剩下5天是祭祀，正好365天。
其中这个最著名的库库尔坎啊，它在玛雅语里面呢是指的这个羽蛇神庙。每到春分和秋分的这一天啊，它就会正好形成一个像蛇的影子一样，从它那个等腰三角形那块然后爬出来的感觉。墨西哥人也是18岁算成年，但是在玛雅人这儿啊，他们是15岁算成年。为什么玛雅人15岁算成年呢？他们是这样解释的：玛雅人认为呢，从15岁开始，每天都是生日，因为每天都可以是新的开始，每天都是新生。而且其实我们每天睡着的时候不知道自己能不能醒来，所以就把每天当做最后一天来活，这是他们的智慧。朋友们，我们现在绕到了金字塔的另一边，这边啊是他以前用来献祭的地方。但是你说他们的神呢，虽然保佑他们，但是残忍的时候也很残忍。每年12月呢，他们要献祭一名10岁到14岁的青少年。那这个献祭的人怎么选出来呢？那边从台子那边开始赛跑，然后跑第1名的人呢可以得救。但是大家都不愿意自己的孩子被献祭嘛，所以有时候父母呢会愿意代替孩子去成为那个祭品。
刚刚是据称有玛雅血统的向导所陈述的，也许是他家族里流传下来的说法。 尽管网上还有另一种说法啊，说玛雅人将献祭视为一种荣耀，所以赢的人更有可能被献祭，而父母也不能代替神选中的人。那么大家更愿意相信哪一种呢？
然后这边呢是玛雅人的足球场，哎也不对，蹴鞠。他们呢可以用肘，可以用脚，也是一种球类运动，但是输了是要被杀掉的哦，好残忍。
再见喽，我们即将前往的是下一站。
Hello， 朋友们，大家好，我们第2站去看图卢姆。然后呢，有趣的事情发生了，我本来订了一个 tour 啊，然后呢，一个人包车，好爽。我们到了，先把身上所有那个什么塑料袋，然后塑料水瓶，什么塑料东西全都卸了，然后现在我们准备进去了。这边好多可爱的小店儿，哇，有一种包场的感觉，没人了，哇，也太爽了！我感觉我都包场了，开心。
欢迎来到骷髅头世界。首先登场的是1号骷髅小姐，正在抽雪茄。2号太阳帽骷髅小姐，穿得还挺性感的。接下来是3号海盗骷髅先生，然后是4号歌手骷髅先生，接下来是绿裙子小姐，还有妖娆的玛丽莲骷髅梦露小姐。虽然姐们儿，你这胸长的到底是骨头还是肉啊？
这个地方呢，始建于公元6世纪，一直到公元16世纪的时候被废弃，也是应该是唯一一个玛雅人建在海边的港口城市。然后这是我们今天的向导 Ariel， hi hola。
They had many books, many Mayan books, many codices. The most of them were destroyed when the Spanish conquest. The second bishop in Yucatan, Diego de Landa, 1562, trying to convert the Mayas into Christianity, destroyed many things. He destroyed 5,000 books. And when he destroyed this, he practically killed this culture.
The city was protected with wall.
A wall, yeah. W-A-L-L, wall.
Yeah.
That's why the name Tulum. Tulum is the popular name. Tulum means fortress.
Fortress
because the walls. The original name of the city, Sama. Sama, the city where the sun rises.
What's that? Edible?
No, it's not eatable.
Oh no.
It's just the seeds of that palm tree.
Oh, okay.
Only the seeds.
Looks like
Looks
some
nice.
berries.
Yeah, but no, they are not berries. Yes, there is one of these growing at the center of the earth. It was the center of the Mayan cosmos, the center of the Mayan universe. Branches were connected with heavens, the roots to the place of the lords of the night. Women which died when the childbirth, and people which was sacrificed after they were going to live forever under the shade of that tree without pain or suffering. Seiba, the tree of life.
Wow.
It's how we know it now, Seiba. But the Maya name was Yash-Che. Yash in Maya means green, Che means wood. The tree of life.
The tree of life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, swamp?
Yeah.
Here?
When it rains heavy, the water comes here, and we have to walk into the water.
Oh.
It's a,
Water?
yeah, because it's a swamp. It's like a mangrove. See? When it rains heavy, when the rainy season, when the heavy rains, water covers this. So we have to walk into the water. You like crocodile?
Too scary. Any crocodiles living here?
Yeah, many.
Many?
Yeah. Sometimes they jump, boom,
Oh.
and people disappear. We don't know what happened with the people. A couple of months ago, 2 months ago, they found one of these crocodiles. When they opened it, there was wristbands. The only thing they found was wristbands.
Oh.
No.
My God.
I'm kidding you.
Ah, scary. Scary story.
This is one more of those ceiba trees, the tree of life, the big one.
Wow.
More south, this is north, south. More south, these trees, they grow at least 3 times bigger. It is hollow inside. The Mayas, they use this for music. It was sacred, but they use it also for musical instruments and also for the canoes to transport the merchandise along the coast. Very interesting. When the city was built, the Mayas, they were already fighting among themselves.
Oh.
Okay, so 3 sides of the city, they were protected with a wall, west, north, and south. On the east side is the open Caribbean. Now, when we get there, you're going to have a better idea. And this is one of the original entrances on the north. As you can see, Mayas, they were short people. Short people, hairless people, the Mongolian spot, blood types, the language, everything seems to prove the Asiatic origin of Mayas. Mayas came from Asia through the Bering Straits, Alaska. And this is the same origin for all American Indians, but many more similarities among Mayans and Asiatic people.
玛雅人应该也是从亚洲来的，但他们不高。我要穿上鞋1.7米。哦，还好，这比柬埔寨吴哥窟高很多了。那磕脑袋，那个 local size 磕脑袋。
You know, the buildings like that one, without roof, they were palaces of the ruling families. The buildings which still have a roof, they were temples where they worshiped the gods. And the city has 4 guard houses, 4 watchtowers. And we don't have rivers or lakes on the surface. We have thousands of underground rivers, better known as cenotes. We have thousands. The only natural source of water, potable water, fresh water, just different water, very hard water. It is one of those cenotes here. The entrance to one of these cenotes, one of these underground rivers. This peninsula has plenty water, but all the water is underground, like this one. This is the only one inside. So this was not a water supply. It's so close to the ocean that it's still saltish water. But out there we have hundreds. That's why cave diving is so popular around this area.
So it's also considered as
sacred,
the entrance to the underworld.
For special ceremonies, the priesthood, they practice very important ceremonies. They materializing the tree of life, the Seva. Yeah. They could travel through that tree to heavens and to the underworld. I didn't mention before, they divided heavens into 13 different levels.
13 levels?
13 levels. Each level was preceded by a good god. And the underworld, 9 different levels. Each level was preceded by a lord of the night. And the last step down there to the underworld, it was known as Xibalba. This Mayan word Xibalba could be translated as a place of desolation. Okay, this is pure Maya mythology. To understand these people in America, but especially the Mayas, archaeologists, they highly recommend you the book known as El Popol Vuh. Popol Vuh book is considered the treasure of pre-Hispanic literature. The Mayan Bible, the Mayan Genesis, excellent pure Maya mythology book.
现在去上那个瞭望台上去。
大家好，我们现在在图卢姆的瞭望台上，城墙的瞭望台上看加勒比海，蓝绿色的海，蓝绿色的海。然后那边是另外一个瞭望台。
And these were palaces, you see? You can imagine the building with a roof. Those were some kind of beds. They put some pelts, pillows, pelts of animals, and it's where they sleep. But they were the rulers, the ruling classes. The common people, they were behind, out there, out the walls. And this is one more of the entrances on the north.
我得摁着我的帽帽，不然一会儿它飞了。哎呦，小心小心
！Guard house。
If you read the Maya mythology, you find the magic dwarfs. They were in charge of the protection of the cities, the protection of the plantations. They were known as Alush. And that is one of the four guardhouses facing the Caribbean way. Temple of the wind god. Among the Mayas, archaeologists, they associate this shape, the round shapes, to wind.
But it looks like a square?
No, but we cannot climb. Really, the basement is round.
Oh, the basement is round.
Yeah. When wind blows faster than usual, gives a sound. Sounds gives some kind of alarm, so people could be prepared. The small canoes with all that precious and holy merchandise are right here. Gold, jade, obsidian, flint, silver, things what we don't have here. They brought all this from Honduras, from Panama, and from Central Mexico, and they were exporting many things. Basically wax, honey, cocoa beans, salt. Everything was taken by land from here to Coba. C-O-B-A. Coba is a tremendous Mayan city about 40 kilometers from here. Coba was larger than Chichen Itza, but now it's not restored like Chichen Itza. Coba was the distribution center. 1518, the second Spanish expedition. They discovered Cozumel, the island, which is in front of here, and they discovered Tulum. And it's when the Spanish people talk about Tulum on a chronicle. They say on that chronicle, something resplendent at the distance. Something resplendent at the distance, something evil, they say on the chronicles. And then they say, what a surprise when we found a city with buildings perfectly leveled, painted inside and outside, brilliant, vibrant colors, full of energy. You know, the technique, what the Mayas used here, is what we know now as a fresco technique. And that's why some of the buildings, when you get closer, you're going to find remains of the original colors on some of them. Palaces, temples, and tombs, all this protected with a wall. The Mayas, they say on the chronicles, the water vomited of this monstrosity, they say. A canoe, which was a house full of strange people. Metal lovers, destroying our temples, looking for the things made with the tears of the sun, gold. But the Mayas, they say, when they talk about the Spanish people, they are destroying our books, destroying our temples, killing our wise people. And everything what is white and strange people is trying to teach us, it is taken from one black, small, and poorly painted book, the Bible. Immediately after the conquest, everybody was converted to Christianity. 500 years after, now, Mexico is the third country with more Catholic people. Philippines, Brazil, Mexico. Before the pandemic, the last government statistic said that 62% of the Mexican population, 62, we are still Catholic. People was allowed to swim here for many years, but not anymore.
Okay.
A few years ago, you know, turtles started to leave eggs here. So now it's a protected area. And now we have the seaweed problem. All year, every year we have this problem. Seaweed.
这个是他们以前统治者住的宫殿，也不对，应该叫怎么说呢？政府的管理人员。但是呢，这边他们就是，你要是在政府啊，你要是在这个管理层啊，那你这家族世世代代都是管理层；你要是农民，你的家族也世世代代都是农民。
The Spanish people, they say on the chronicles, The Indians, the most important ones, they go inside. I don't know what you think about these buildings now, but many archaeologists, they say, places of transition between the physical to the spiritual, temples where they receive the messages of their God. This particular one is beautiful painted inside. It's blue like the sky, and beautiful designs, constellations, stars, and the moon. The archaeologists, they call the painting inside a cosmos vision. And this is one of the buildings when the people was allowed to go inside, people was destroying. But many more people, they were taking pictures using flashes. One flash doesn't do anything. Thousands of them were destroying the color. All the color comes from plants, from oil animals, and it was painted about 1,000 years ago. That's why 12 years ago they decided people is not allowed to climb. They put a plastic at the entrance to protect the painting, but because that plastic now, we cannot see inside. Inside the building there is a small window. Through the one it is possible to watch the sunrises, but this is possible only when the solstices of summer and winter, June and December. Every Maya city has buildings like this one. Some cities like Chichen Itza, the phenomenon is spectacular. Over there in Chichen Itza is in the afternoon. Over there in Chichen Itza, equinoxes of spring and autumn. Every Maya city has buildings like this one, and that's why now NASA, when they talk about these cities, they say, references points to calculate movements and speed of the planets. A lot of knowledge about astronomy, but practical astronomy to survive. The need of to know when the rainy season, when it doesn't rain, when to plant, when the harvest. Practical astronomy to survive. Well, let me tell you, the Mayas, they had more knowledge about astronomy than this. You know, the Maya calculation to planet Venus reappear on the same place on the sky, 584 days. 584 days, and now NASA says, no, the Mayas, they were wrong. Venus takes 583.92 of a day. So, a lot of knowledge about astronomy. Equinoxes, solstices, eclipses, calendars, 4 calendars. A lot of knowledge about astronomy. Can you see above the entrance, above the door?
Yeah?
Can you see, is this figure, see? It's a man upside down figure. A man like coming from heavens. These are the legs, the head, and the hands. It's above the door. A metaphor of the god of honey. A metaphor of the god of bees. If you use your imagination, take a look. You can see the hands empty. He was holding a beautiful piece of pottery, a beehive. Now it's not in there, it's in Mexico City. If you notice, he has wings on the shoulders. This right here, wings on the shoulders. Take a look above the legs here. You can see something like a stinger of a bee. And the legs and sandals, they were beautiful painted with flowers, painted with leaves. So everything seems to be associated to flora, honey, bees. That's why now archaeologists, they say, a metaphor. Now, 80% of the honey production is exported to Europe, to Canada, to North America. But when the Mayan times, honey was among the greatest gifts of the gods to the common people. Spanish people, they talk about human sacrifices here. Archaeological evidence, like if you go to Chichen Itza, everywhere you can see carvings, paintings about sacrifices. Nothing like this here. Here we have only the Spanish chronicles. They say on the chronicles, these Indians sacrificed jóvenes vírgenes honoring their gods. Joven virgen, I mean young virgin. But I want to tell you, make it clear, young virgin in any language could be a man or a woman. And when these chronicles written in Spanish were translated to other languages, is when the legend about beautiful women, virgin sacrifice. The archaeological evidence suggests that they were Muslim men, young men that sacrificed. They talk about dances, rituals. Come here. They talk about dances, rituals before the sacrifices. On top of that platform, you see the best collection of Mayan jewels now is at the Peabody Museum in Boston. And part of that collection, some discs of gold about this size were representations of sacrifices similar to this one. It's not a legend. Sacrifices, they were practiced after 900, not before. It was not a Maya custom, came from central Mexico. And among the Mayas, sacrifices became in a great honor. People from the nobility was prepared since childhood for the sacrifice. And after, the Mayan paradise, where they were going to live forever without pain or suffering, is where they worship the gods. They dug down in a high reverence because their gods were living inside.
Oh, gods
They
living
were
inside.
those were like temples where they received the messages of their gods, like a church, like a temple. This one has a lot of details. Can you see here on the corner, right here? Can you see the whole angle? It's a big face. It's a big face with the eyes closed.
Oh, yeah.
Below the cornice, you can see the chin, the mouth.
The
Can
eyes.
you see the nose, like an eagle nose?
Yeah.
Typical of the American Indians. And you can see the two eyes with remains of color. On the other corner, you see the profile of her face.
Ah.
But the one on the other side, eyes are open.
Oh.
Open eyes, closed eyes, life and death. If someday you read the Maya myth of the creation, you're going to find always magic twins.
Magic twins?
Twins, yeah, it's duality, always present in the Maya philosophy. There is a painting inside. This is the most popular representation of the old goddess of pregnancy, the old goddess Ishchel. This is a woman standing up, facing north. When these people was buried, they always left offerings according to the rank of the people. Always in a fetus or maternal position. Always the mouth full with pieces of jade. You know jade? Because the green color, eternally green, was also symbolizing fertility life. The height of the skeletons, the skull deformation, everything suggests people who was buried inside, they were very important Mayan dignitaries. They also practiced cremation.
我们现在去最高处的瞭望台，看海，看海。哎呀！但是啊，也有人说，据说呢，昨天那个向导呢，他有一些的这个玛雅血统啊，他自己说的。然后他说呢，其实有的玛雅人啊，他们并没有完全消失，他们只是融入了这个怎么说呢，被融入了这个墨西哥人的日常的生活里，所以平时看不到他们，他们也没有在专门住在这种城邦里。但是啊，普遍的玛雅人呢，他们在社会里的这个怎么说呢，职位的这种地位都不是很高，因为他们不太看重这种世俗的东西。人家觉得你去拼这个更好的简历啊，算一种歧视，知道吧？歧视那些就简历不够漂亮的人，歧视有 gap year 的人。所以呢，他们通常都比较的低调。当然，这也是听说而已啦。图卢姆有小蜥蜴，哇塞，小蜥蜴 ，Hello， 你好吗？要吃点啥？哦，不对，我身上也没吃，不好意思。我没带吃的，咋办？你们好，我是小蜥蜴，给大家表演一个什么叫面朝大海，春暖花开。花儿没看着，面朝大海就行了。哎呦，我快憋不过来了！哎呦，我转一下。哎呀 ，Hello， 图卢姆的小蜥蜴，你有小伙伴吗？你怎么自己出来遛弯呢？你怎么也自己一直出来遛弯？跟我似的。那你要自己乖乖的回家，好不好？啊？那我也回家喽。Jenny， we were talking about I just quit my job. Ariel, I have a
Okay.
question. Do you like your job?
Of course, I like it very much.
Oh, you're lucky.
Ah, yes,
'Cause,
yes.
yeah, I asked many people, and yeah, a lot of people said they don't like their job.
I like, you know,
You like your job?
I
That's
have
good.
been working as a tour guide for 38 years. 38,
38
almost half of my
years.
life. And probably this year is the last one, but I enjoy what I do.
You like your job?
Very
Awesome.
much.
Thank you for everything today.
You're welcome.
事情是这样的，从图卢姆那边出来之前买了个椰子喝，还想把里面椰子肉刮一刮，别浪费。然后我回来取行李，我问人家能不能帮我把椰子劈开，我还在想这个要求是不是比较奇怪。然后呢，他们真的帮我劈开了。我宣布，现在这个是我的午饭啊，不对，下午茶啊，不对，下午饭。好的，我就吃它了。咦嘻嘻嘻嘻，咦呀，哎呀，这个椰子肉好难挖。哎，挖出来了，挖出来了！哎，大家先吃。哦，你们吃不到，那好吧，那我来吃。咦嘻嘻嘻，啊，好好吃，好好吃。再挖，再挖。哎呀，纯天然果冻，哇，太好吃了，太好吃了，哇，太好吃了啊，太好吃了！吃完了，吃饱了，那我们就solo solo的撤喽。大家下期再见，猜猜我们下期去哪儿呢？拜拜。